Hey, what's up, everybody? Guys, can everyone hear me, see me, everything like that? I always like to make sure of that first before we jump in. And how about me starting on time again today? I'm going to stop congratulating myself, but maybe I'm going to keep those compliments inside because I feel very good about my ability to actually make it to these on time. 10 a.m. is a little on the early side to do a lot of singing. But guys, today we have a great studio session coming up. First of all, we are here to talk about vocal confidence. Where does it come from? How do you develop it? Is it something that just some people have? A lot of people don't. But luckily, we're actually going to be working with some real people's voices. And if you want, oh, darn it, that cut that off. I should have learned this by now. Oh well. Let me try this again. We are going to be working with some real people's voices today, and we're going to have a focus on talking about vocal confidence, people that are struggling with that. But I actually want to just keep that really open too, because vocal confidence can suffer in many, many different ways, especially when people are just getting started off with technique. So, we're going to be working with some real folks today. I went ahead and put the link to join me here in the chat. So, go ahead and click the link. Couple of quick rules when you're joining me in the chat. Number one, you have to turn on your camera and your microphone. And finally, you also have to have good internet. And I'm so sorry to my friends, that are in really far away places that may not have some great internet. I love working with you guys, but it just makes it so much smoother if you have good internet already. It is so gray and gross outside. I really need you guys to cheer me up. So I'm looking forward to working with some people today talking about vocal confidence. Clear Grace, guys, at last stream was great. Thanks so much for saying that. By the way, if you guys want to learn how to sing songs, not just a bunch of vocal exercises, definitely check out my 150 vocal songs resources. We've got a version for males, a version for females, and those who identify as male or female. And you can check that out right there. I dropped the link in the chat. But first, I'm going to just start off while I'm waiting for people to join me in the stream. I'm going to put that link in one more time. That way people know how they can do it. You basically just click the link, turn on your camera and your audio, and make sure you have good internet. And I will see you soon. So, those of you guys who have been following me for a while probably know that I am very proud of the time that I spent busking or playing in public for tips in the San Francisco train stations, what they call the BART system, the Bay Area Rapid Transit. And I literally did that. What actually led to that decision to start actually playing in the train stations in front of hundreds and hundreds of people was that I was deathly afraid of performing in public in front of other people. So, just a little bit of background. I went to school for advertising, not for music. And absolutely, I love music. Hey, Frederick, good to see you, man. I'm going to hang out with you in just a second. Um, I actually went to school for advertising. And even though I'd been playing music since the time I was 14, 15 years old, I was convinced that I had to have this like really steady, like professional career driven job that would make my parents and myself happy. Or at least that's what I thought. And so I actually graduated with my degree in advertising. I moved out to San Francisco to pursue my career in advertising. Absolutely hated it. It was the worst. And I was so sad and depressed that after that 3 months, I was like, gosh, things things can get really bad. Things can get really dark really quickly if you don't follow something that you're passionate about. And so what I did was I was like, okay, so if that's as bad as it can get right there, what I want to do is I want to pursue something that I'm passionate about. And so I actually started writing songs, playing, performing for the first time, really trying to make it in music in my life. And thanks, Cat Gore, for saying great channel. Um, and so that meant that I was playing like every coffee shop, every gig that I could possibly find, every open mic. But something strange would happen whenever I would get close to going on stage. And I'm sure, hey, Isadora, I can't wait to hang out with you too. Um, you know, what would happen, and I think a lot of people that are watching this can probably relate with this, is like my hands would start to shake and I would just, like, feel that, like, oh my god, like, like, just feeling like my whole body was just vibrating with all this energy, and I'm a high energy guy anyway, and so adding that on top of that and playing guitar and trying to sing, and by the way, I had never taken any voice lessons, so I had no idea what I was doing. I had no foundation of technique to rely on. I was just kind of feeling it all out. And so inevitably, I would always have these terrible performances. And that's why I decided that I was going to start playing in these train stations to kill my fear. I was like, no matter what happens, I'm just going to keep playing. And there are some really interesting stories that go along with that. Some people threw stuff at me when I was performing in the train stations, which I'll talk about more at other times if anyone's interested. But it was a very, it was a very humbling but very good time for me, a big learning experience. And so I'm going to go ahead and invite Frederick on first because he was the first to successfully turn on his camera and his microphone and everything like that. And by the way, keep in mind, the topic of today is about vocal confidence and how to grow it and where it comes from. And I'll come back to that story and just a little bit about my own personal journey with vocal confidence. But keep in mind, like, I'm going to just take people where they're at today. So, Frederick, if there's something else that you need to work on, something else you're struggling with, we're going to work on that too. So, I'm going to go ahead and add you onto the stream as long as you give me 2 thumbs up and I know you're good to go. All right. Hey, what's up, man?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm not sure you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay. I'm actually in Sweden. I'm
Oh,
not sure
very cool.
Yeah.
What part of Sweden?
I'm in Stockholm, in the
In the
capital of
capital.
Sweden. Oh,
Very,
sorry.
very cool.
Hello. Hello.
How far is that from Malmö? I have a good friend from Malmö.
About 400 kilometers.
Oh, so a
Miles,
good
I don't
ways.
know.
A long
Not
ways.
that far away. No, no.
No, 400 kilometers isn't that far. Sorry, I use miles, so I'm
Yeah.
like I'm like trying to okay, I know kilometers smaller than miles. Well, good, Frederick. Why don't you tell me a little bit about you and singing and what you're working on?
I used to sing a lot 10, 15 years ago.
Oh, okay.
And then I stopped and I had a sore throat for years and stuff and just sang maybe a week, a year. And then I did other things. And I picked it up a couple of weeks ago, months.
Wow.
And now I went into it. I looked at YouTube videos, some of yours, some of others. I looked in technique. I started really getting deep into it, listening to vocal tracks and really trying to understand my voice. That's
Yeah.
where I'm at. And I'm hungry now. I found my mixed voice.
Yes.
I'm really hungry and I'm all about mindset. My wife is a life coach,
Oh,
funny
cool.
enough. We talk all about mindset, and exactly what you're saying is something I understand. I stopped 15 years ago when I should have done what you're doing, getting out there, and I did, and I stopped. So my
Yeah.
development stopped. So it
Yeah.
makes perfect sense that I
Dude,
need
I
to.
love that. Thank you so much
I,
for sharing.
I'm a creative soul, and I need to get out there and expose myself. And
Yeah.
it's gonna hurt, like this hurts, but you need to do it. Just like you're saying, they throw a beer can in your head.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. You need to continue. It's your soul that has to come out, I think.
Yeah, well, the homeless guy that threw the beer can at me, he had bad aim, which is very helpful in my case, so it kind of flew past my head, and then he
Mm,
just walked away. So I got very, very lucky in that specific case.
right.
But yeah, no, I mean, Frederick, this is the first step, just, being vulnerable and putting yourself out there and just to
Yeah.
kind of validate what you're saying. There's something about us as artistic, creative people that we tend to feel things a little bit more intensely than other people. So, all of the stuff that goes along with that. I mean, I hope that everyone that's watching this has felt the euphoria that you feel after you have a good show or a good performance. But that also, the other side of that coin is we
Yeah.
also feel very vulnerable. Sometimes we
Yes.
also feel very anxious. And I've done some performances in my life where it's like I walk off stage and I've never felt so depressed because it's just like it didn't go the way that I wanted to. Um, but what I love about what you're saying, Frederick, is just feel the feelings, but do it anyway.
Yes. That's. I have a total different approach now. I sing every day, regardless of how I feel, if it sounds good or not. I do exercises that you shown, the
Yeah,
scales and the lip drills and everything, and my emotions, I disconnect them. It's a job
yeah,
in order to get forward. And then sometimes it feels great, and sometimes it doesn't. And
yeah.
my goal is further away, kind
That's
of thing.
it. Yeah, because I mean, like you're not a robot. You can't completely shut off your
No,
feelings
no,
anyway.
No.
But like even just saying like, okay, I know I'm feeling this thing, but I'm still going to work on this is
Yeah.
really helpful a lot of the time.
Yes.
And just want to make sure everybody in the chat, does everyone get that? Does everyone see where Frederick's coming from and myself are coming from? Go ahead and just leave a comment in the chat. So Frederick, I'd love to hear what you're working on specific. I hear a lot about mindset. Specifically, what is it about your voice that you're working on right now?
I've only found my mixed voice like two
Okay.
months ago. I'm surprised. I found it straight away. It's always been there. It wasn't so hard, and now I'm trying to grow it. And I find, of course, it cracks and it does all kind of things.
Yeah.
And but I found that by moving it forward in my face,
Yeah.
it doesn't hurt in my throat. I can go pretty high.
Oh, I'm
But
so glad you said that. Hold on real quick, because you mentioned that you had a sore throat that you for a couple of years. Just tell me a little bit about that real quick, like what caused that, any ideas?
I think I had something called GERD,
Oh, yeah,
which is esophagus
gastroesophageal
acid in your stomach.
yeah,
And I had a dry mouth. Well, it's interesting for any singer. So I started drinking soft drinks, which
okay,
apparently makes it worse.
yes,
So I had a continuous sore throat and a dry, like a cough and these things. And I go to the doctor and they couldn't find anything, and it just gotten worse and worse and worse. And
okay.
then I found this very simple thing, and you change your diet a little,
Oh,
and
yeah.
the sore throat went.
What
But
did
then
you
there's
how did
also a technique thing that when you change your voice to a forward placement, it doesn't hurt in your throat, and you can
yeah.
get higher without straining your throat, kind of thing.
Cool.
Yeah.
And I know we're chatting a lot because I really want to hear you sing too. But so that everyone in the chat knows, GERD is gastroesophageal reflux disease, which are a lot of big words. That basically it's a particularly kind of insidious form of acid reflux, where sometimes it can be hard to diagnose, and you may like wake up like hoarse or something like that. You may not even taste like that if you've ever had acid reflux after like a really big meal and you go to sleep early or something like that. Sometimes you'll taste some of that acid. GERD, you don't always feel that, or you don't always hear that, and it can be difficult to diagnose. So I'm glad that you brought that up, Frederick. Um, so far, your voice sounds pretty good to me. I know it's a little bit later in the day, but generally, how's your voice feeling these days?
Much better, but sometimes it's a little. I haven't like it hasn't gone away, but it's
Yeah,
much better. Yes.
yeah, I hear a little something in your voice, just a tiny bit of that rasp, but
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
cool. Well, why don't we do this? I'm going to, and by the way, just so everyone in the chat knows, how did you change your diet to get rid of that, or not get rid of it, but manage it?
Coffee and alcohol, and
Yep.
and soft drinks, and then it's much more than that. But those are the big ones. And then they say spicy food and fat food, but coffee and soft drinks were the big one. Yeah.
So you're the one man in Sweden that doesn't drink coffee. That is impressive.
And I'm a
Wow.
carpenter too. Like they're just like, go home. You don't drink coffee, you're not a carpenter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, good, Frederick. Do me a favor. I want to just hear a little bit of your mixed voice. So I'm going to start you down in your chest. And
Okay.
so what I want you to do is I want you to just sing a 5-tone ah, like 5
Okay.
notes up, then 5 notes down on ah, like ah.
Ah.
Good. Now here.
Ah. 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 It's a little false, but I'm not warmed up or anything. But
That's okay. That's okay. I just need to hear you where you're at right now. Thank you. Ah.
Ah.
Good.
Ah. Ah. Ah.
2 more.
Ah.
Sorry. Okay, so do that same thing. Oh, sorry. Forgot I was away from the mic, Frederick. First of all, really nice job. It's difficult to do that scale, and especially if you haven't warmed up. I know it's later in the evening, or it's the early evening where you are right now, which is helpful, which means that you've had some.
For me, it's perfect time. My body is warmed up, and it's not in the morning, so that's perfect actually.
Yeah, I know. This is like, it's a little early for me, but I'm trying to play catch up here.
Yeah.
So let's just do a couple things, Frederick, to get you even a little bit more warmed up. Because I'm hearing that, yes, you do have that mixed voice, but the bottom, the chest voice is still just a little bit light to me occasionally. Here's what I mean by that. you started off really strong, but you would end a little light. You would be like kind of ah
The
ah.
passage, isn't it?
It's not the passage.
Okay.
It's more that it's more of an intention
Okay.
of setting that intention of like, okay, I'm going to finish this scale the same way that I started. I call it heads and tails. You want to
Okay.
sorry, heads and tails. It's like you want to make sure the beginning of that scale and the end of that scale sound the same. So
Good.
rather than ah ah, you want them to be equally strong.
Yeah.
And I have no doubt that that's going to be a really simple thing for you to work on.
Yeah.
But then we're going to be looking at the mixed voice, because what you did in the mixed voice was that there were occasional notes where you did back off, but there were many notes where you pushed in and ah like you started just right, but as you ascended into that first passage, you started to kind of push into it a little bit. So let's look at it all. Have you done this scale? This
I have, yes.
great. Let's start there.
So no, none of this.
Yes, please. Sorry, I
Okay.
can't demo it and I
Yeah.
can't play
Yeah.
it and do the fingers. But everyone that's watching this, I want you guys, when you guys are doing the lip trill, the fingers are the number one thing that you can do to get the lip trill to work for you. I'm sure there's a lot of people that are watching this that hate this exercise because they can't do it right. But it is an incredibly helpful exercise. So, yes, with the fingers. Nice. Let's check those notes, Frederick. So I think of it in triplets, like triplet, 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 done. Way to go, dude. Good. Good. Now those top notes blended in a little too much. They were a little. You're like, oh, I'm just gonna squeeze through those. Yeah. And that's a big thing for you, Frederick, is like making sure that even in the difficult places in your voice, you're being really, really deliberate about which notes that you sing. Okay. So I want you to try that again so you can hear me. That's it, dude. Now here. Good. Good. Now, for all those that are keeping track, we brought Frederick up to the tenor C5, right up there. Massive, massive notes up there for you. Those are going to be so great. And what I think is going to be really cool for you is like, I know you're really focusing a lot on the first passage, but I want to really focus. And by the way, first passage, E4, F4, F sharp 4, G4. I think that for you, it's going to be just as important to work on that second passage as well. A4, B flat 4, B4, and C5. So that's why I'm taking you up that high, Frederick.
Okay.
Coming down. Nice. Dude, you're doing a great job on that. Okay, great. Now, let's warm up that mix even a little more. Nice. Good. Now I'm hearing a little bit of that back placement.
Yeah.
Now, part of that's the tongue that you're starting to pull the tongue back. Now, what we want with this one is we want that tongue to be touching those bottom front teeth at the gum line. So say eat.
Eat.
Good. memorize where that tongue placement is and try to get the same feeling on the gi. So rather than gi 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 gi. Good, and try to say the word a little bit more. See, I can still keep back placement even if my tongue's forward. I'm tricky like that. But that doesn't mean it sounds good. Try to just say the word for me, Frederick. Gee, gee, gee.
Gee, gee, gee.
That's it. That's forward placement. Now a
Okay.
little higher. Gee, gee, gee.
Gee, gee, gee.
There we go. Gee, 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 gee.
Gee, 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 gee.
Nice.
Gee, 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 gee.
Wonderful. Coming down.
Gee, 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 gee. Gee, 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 gee. Gee, 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 gee. Gee, 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 gee.
Good. Now I want even a little bit more forward placement. That gi is working really well for you, Frederick. But I'd love even a little bit more forward placement. So give me that bratty neigh. Neigh, 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 neigh. About half the speed I did it.
Nay, 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 nay.
Good, but rather than neigh, 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 neigh. Just say the word, but bratty.
Nay, 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 nay.
Good. And Thomas Wynn is asking you whether you're a baritone. You are not a baritone. You are most definitely a tenor.
I've been told I'm a baritone, but I think what I found is my mix, I can go pretty high in my mix, and it's stronger in the higher than in the lower mix. That doesn't make any sense to me. So maybe I am a tenor. I have no idea.
You're definitely a tenor. Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
keep in mind that all of these names, the bass, baritone, tenor, all that stuff has been made up. Those are things that we made up to help assign roles and stuff like that. But if we're using those classifications, you are definitely a tenor.
Okay.
Baritone examples being John Legend, David Bowie. When you listen to those men speak, you'll hear like a deeper, darker resonance in their tone. Whereas when I hear you speak, you're like a little bit closer to where I'm at.
Okay.
And the good thing about being a tenor, not always, but oftentimes being a tenor will usually mean that you have a facility singing those higher notes better. It'll be easier for you, which is exactly what you just said.
Yeah. The bridge is the hard part for me.
Yep. Once you get past that bridge, you're good.
I think so myself, but I'm this is all new to me. But I found that the C around the C is sometimes easier than a bit lower down.
Oh God, yeah. People in the chat, how many of you guys have found that singing like a B flat 4 is sometimes easier than singing that F4 or that F sharp 4? I know I have.
I have.
So then na 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 is easier than na 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 na. Sometimes
Exactly.
Yeah. Let's keep doing that. One more. Nay 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 nay.
Nay, 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 nay.
Good, but even brattier. So rather than going for a lot of volume, nay, 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 nay. That's A4 on top.
Nay, 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 nay.
Better, but relax your jaw. Nay, 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 nay.
Nay, 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 nay.
That's more of the sound that I want you to get there, Frederick. Now, there's a lot to work on here, but you are definitely on the right path. The biggest things that I'm hearing for you now is just your tendency to kind of pull up and strain into those higher notes and squeeze, right? Now, let's not put the cart before the horse. I don't know if you're familiar with that expression, but it's like it.
Yeah. And I thought I'd do that. I thought I'd squeeze also.
Yeah, exactly. Now, if we're prioritizing between you singing those notes in falsetto versus singing them in mixed voice, I want you to sing them in mixed voice, even if they're kind of squeezy right now. That's better for me,
Yeah.
and for you, because you're actually getting there, right? Nay, 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 and not connecting to those notes. But once you're connected to those notes, if I were to keep working with you, I would want to, as soon as possible, start getting towards more open, more relaxed vowels. I'm thinking like a mum would be a really good exercise for you because it's not going to pinch the larynx super high. Go ahead.
The mom.
Yeah, the mum, the octave and a half mum, octave repeat mum. I think
Yeah.
those would both be great exercises for
Yeah.
you, Frederick. But I wanted to get you a little bit warmed up first. Thank you so much for being here. I can't wait to hear a little bit more of your singing, okay?
Thank you so much.
Dude, it's my pleasure. Thanks so much for being here. We have a lively waiting room full of folks. I am so excited to see you guys. So we got Isadora, Bethany, Misha, and Byron. I'm gonna go ahead and yeah, Bethany, dance it up. I'm gonna have to get to you. So I'm gonna alternate between genders if that's okay with everyone, so that everybody feels seen and heard. So I'd love to work with Isadora. Isadora, just give me 2 thumbs up whenever you're ready to go. I'm gonna try to fix my hair. It's still drying, so I look like a bum. All right, yeah, that's it, Isadora. Okay, you're coming in, and you're gonna have to turn on your microphone whenever you're ready. There we go. Hello.
Hi!
Hey,
Hi,
how's it going?
Ma!
How are
I
you
was
doing?
really looking forward to it because I missed last Saturday's live.
Yeah, I know. I keep switching up the schedule, so it makes it difficult to find me.
No,
Um,
it's fine.
I'm glad you're here now. Where in the world are you?
I am in Brazil. I'm from Brazil.
Oh, Brazil. Awesome. I love Brazilians and I love my Brazilian students. I have many of them here.
Oh, great. I love its culture.
Yes. Oh my God.
It's
Um,
fascinating.
so where you're at right now, it's pretty close to my time. It's like kind of early or late morning, early afternoon.
Right now it's 1 p.m.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Awesome. So have you done any singing yet today, Isadora?
Yeah, actually, I've done some soprano warm-up exercises.
Awesome.
I, I never had a vocal coach properly. Doesn't fit in my intern budget yet. But I
Shout out to
definitely
the
do.
interns out there.
But I definitely do various warm ups and YouTube videos and 2 hour concerts in my bedroom.
Nice.
And that thing you said about anxiety, it's really true. Because one thing I struggle, I think the most thing is that I rely a lot on what I'm hearing, and I tend to uh, ba- like hide behind another singer,
Yes.
and I tend to not hear myself, and when I do hear myself I tend to fall behind. I think I lose what I think I've learned, you know.
Yeah.
I can't I oh, this feels right for me, I think it's doing right, then I record myself or I do it alone or I sing in front of other people, and it's just not happening
I
anything.
understand. I understand. And what kind
It's
of singing
calm.
do you like to do, Isadora? Like, who do you like to listen to or sing along
uh,
with?
I really like pop songs like Ariana Grande, Beyonce, stuff
Awesome.
like that.
You like the
Rihanna,
the pop divas.
the pop divas, yes.
Yeah, girl. Awesome. Well, very cool. Well, the soprano warm up is the one for you to do then. Well, good.
I'm not sure if I'm actually soprano or a mezzo soprano. I've watched your vocal range video, but I'm just not sure because I can tell myself if I'm doing things correctly. You know.
Yeah. Well, let's have you sing a little something just to get a little bit of a better feel for your voice. I have a guess about which you are, but I want to make sure that I'm not misleading anybody. Um do you have like a little, since you've been warming up a little bit already, do you have a little bit of a song that you're like, gosh, every time I go to sing along with this song, I just let the other singer just completely dominate me?
Um, I don't know yet. Like I was not singing today. I wasn't singing
Oh,
today.
okay. Okay.
Like a proper song, but I was warming up definitely.
Oh, okay,
You know.
gotcha. Well, how about this? Do you know the Beyonce song "If I Were a Boy"?
Yeah.
If I were a
Were a boy,
boy.
I
That one.
think I would understand.
Yeah, awesome. So, am I on your laptop or on your phone,
I'm
Isadora?
on my laptop.
Great. Do you have your phone around?
Yeah,
Awesome. Can you do me a favor and can you just pull up the song If I Were a Boy so that you can sing along with it?
sure.
That way I can kind of hear you. Great. While you do that, Isadora, I'm just gonna look up the music real quick. By the way, guys, if you want a fantastic resource that'll teach you how to sing songs, not just exercises, check out my 150 vocal songs resource. I just dropped the link in the chat. Surprise, surprise! If I Were a Boy just might be one of the songs that I cover in the in the resource. But you're gonna have to buy it to find out. But yeah, I might have to give that one away. Okay, let's see. Let me just make sure I'm in the right key here. Yeah, and I think it's down a half step. I thought it was up a half step. Let me see here. If I were a boy, yeah. Great, Isadora. Whenever you've got it ready, go ahead and just play it. And you might have to play it a little loudly just so that we're able to hear you in context.
Oh, I'm too low.
I haven't heard it yet, but just go ahead and play it, and we'll.
Oh, I'm just going to go to the chorus.
Of course.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, Isadora, can we start from the beginning? Because I want to hear what you do on those low notes.
Low.
Too.
Can I go now?
Yes, please.
If I were a boy, even just for one day.
Isadora, we can't actually hear the music. Can you play it so that we can hear the music?
Yeah.
Sorry if I wasn't clear.
Oh, it's okay. It's not really playing. Oh. It's wobbly. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. If it's being difficult, I can actually cue you.
If I were a boy.
Okay, cool. I'm in the right key. I'm in the right key. I'll just cue you. Can you go? If I were a boy. Can you start from there, please?
If I were a boy, I think from the beginning.
Yeah.
Sorry.
If I were a boy, even just for
one day.
Yeah, keep going. I'd roll out of bed in the morning and throw on what I wanted and go.
Okay, if I were a boy.
There you go.
Even just for one day, I would roll out of bed in the morning and throw on all I wanted and go.
Good, keep going.
Drink beer with my guys and chase after girls. I'd kick in with who I wanted and I never get confronted for it.
'Cause they'd stick up
for me.
Good. Now the chorus.
If I were a boy.
That's the octave jump. So you're going, if I were a boy. That's where she goes there.
If I were a boy, I think I could understand how it feels to love a girl. I swear I'd be a better man.
Nice.
I'd listen to her, 'cause I don't know how it hurts when you lose the one you wanted, 'cause he's take you for granted and everything you had got destroyed.
Awesome, Isadora. Just pause right there. That's beautiful. Does everyone hear how Isadora's voice opens up and gets much stronger when she's singing up in those higher parts in her voice? So we're definitely thinking either a mezzo soprano or a soprano. I'm gonna say very firmly that you're a soprano, because you just have so much facility up there. You have facility just means ease. You have so much access to those notes. Whereas like I purposely took her on a song that starts off really low just to see how she would do because she has to start from
My
an
low
F.
notes get very airy.
Oh yes, you're like if I were a boy, but as you started going higher, you're like if I were a boy, like your voice started to come out, right? And so that's really really good information for me to hear because I'm like, oh gosh, yeah. If your voice is starting to open up as you go higher, that definitely means that you're more of a mezzo or a soprano. Not that altos or mezzos can't sing those higher notes with power either. They definitely can. But we're just talking about the difference between being 6 feet tall, 5 feet tall, and 4 feet tall. The 6 foot tall person is probably going to be better at basketball. The 4 foot tall person is probably going to be better at, riding horses or something. It's hard to ride a horse when you're 6 feet tall, I think. I don't know anything about horse racing, but I'm just making this up as I go. So, what I want you to do, Isadora, is I want to actually just work on those low notes for a second with you because the high notes sound great, but those low notes are tough. So what I want you to try is I want you to just try. We're gonna raise the key just one half step. Can you go? If I were a boy.
If I were a boy.
Good. Now do me a favor, Isadora, and just say the words. If I were a boy.
If I were a boy.
Good. Now say it a little bit louder, like you're trying to reach the back of your bedroom. If I were a boy.
If I were a boy.
Oh, not if I were a boy. I want you
If
to.
I were a boy.
There you go. Okay, good. Now do that same thing a little bit higher in your voice. If I were a boy.
If I were a boy.
Very good. Very good. Now find me right in the middle between those two. So you went, if I were a boy, and you went, if I were a boy. Meet me right in the middle. If I were a boy.
If I were a boy.
That's it. That's what I want. Good. Now go, if I were a boy. Like you're saying the word.
If I were a boy.
Good. I think I could understand.
I think I could understand.
Sorry, I'm messing up the lyrics. That's my bad. Even just for a day.
Even just for a day.
Good. I'd roll out of bed in the morning and throw on what I wanted and go.
Sorry, can you repeat it for
I'd roll out of bed in the morning. Let's just do that part.
I roll out of bed in the morning.
Oh, don't switch keys on me. I need you to stay right where I'm at. I'd roll out of bed in the morning.
I'd roll out of bed in the morning.
Good. Now, here's what I want you to work on, Isadora. Rather than thinking, I am singing now, I have to sing this really pretty, I want you to think, I am speaking the words. I'd roll out of bed in the morning. I'd roll out of bed in the morning. I'd roll out of bed in the morning, throw on what I wanted and go. Like you're adding the pitch later. You're thinking about speaking it first. Can you do that again?
I'll roll out of bed in the morning. I threw all out I wanted and go.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Do you feel how that's different?
It feels easier, but it's strange.
Yeah. And it's not like I don't necessarily want you to sing that exact way, but that is the first step in getting those notes stronger and more and feeling more supported in your voice rather than thinking I have to sing. Because when we think we have to sing, we add in all sorts of manipulation in sounds and stuff like that. I'd roll out of bed in the morning. I'm singing now. Instead, I want you to just speak it. I'd roll out of bed in the morning, throw on what I wanted and go.
Because it also falls out a lot about in the mimicking other singers. I'm singing behind it, and I find myself imitating them.
You got it. That's exactly right, Isadora. Keep working on that. Speak the words first and then sing them. Okay? Thank you so much for being here. Awesome. Everybody give it up for Isadora and Frederick so far. I really, really appreciate everybody being here. We got so many great folks standing by in the queue. I'm going to work with a guy next so that everybody has something to see. or I don't know if they identify as a guy or if they identify as male, but we'll see. Let's see. Byron, are you ready to come on? Okay, give me 2 thumbs up if you're ready to go. Not quite yet. Oh, but we've got Bethany, we've got Omid, we've got Lauren. But I don't think I've worked with Byron before, or Lauren for that matter, or Bethany for that matter. So I'm gonna see if I can hang out with you guys first. Byron, go ahead and give me 2 thumbs up if you're ready. By the way, if you guys want to learn how to sing songs, not just endless vocal exercises, definitely check out my 150 vocal songs resource. It's right there. The link is in the chat. Give me 2 thumbs up there, Byron, whenever you're ready. And by the way, guys, I really appreciate everybody being here. Today, we're talking about vocal confidence. We're just trying to kind of nail down this beast of where does vocal confidence actually come from? Is it something that actually exists? I'm going to just talk for just a second about my own experience because I don't feel like I'm a particularly confident singer a lot of the time. But it's one of those things that as you start to do it more often, as you start to kill your fear by having more and more experiences, I shouldn't even say that I don't feel confident as a singer. It's more that I don't feel like I have a $1 million voice like some people have been blessed with. And that's okay with me. One of my favorite guitars is a Squier bass guitar. That's one of my favorite guitars. And Squier, if you don't know, is kind of like the knockoff of, it's not a knockoff. It's just the lower tier brand of a Fender. And I just love that guitar so much. So even if it's like technically a more affordable or cheaper or like less high quality instrument, I love it just as much because it sounds so great. I kind of feel the same way about my voice. I don't necessarily feel like I have this multi-million-dollar voice that's going to sell millions of albums, but I know that I can make my voice do almost whatever I want it to do. All right, Byron is back. You've adjusted your screen. Are you good to come in now, bro? Okay, cool. I'm gonna add you to the stream. We'll just see what happens. Hey, how's it going, man?
Hi. I was struggling for some reason, I couldn't put thumbs up in the chat. So I had to back out, put thumbs up, and then come back into the stream. But I'm here. I made it. Sorry about this little thing by you. It's difficult to put my phone up to stand it, but
no problem. And Byron, I'm hearing a little echo, so I might ask you. I might ask you to be really quick on muting yourself, so that we're not hearing constant echoing back.
Do you want me to try it without the headphones?
Yeah, let's try it.
How's that?
It sounds good to me so far. Oh, we've still got the echo. Crap.
I don't know what that's about, actually. I have no idea why.
No problem at all. So just do me a favor. Like, whenever I'm talking, just hit your mute button.
Yeah, okay. So I'm just going to pop these back in quickly because if it's echoing, I might as well just carry on with them. Give me a second. Sorry. You're right.
No problem. I love just hearing my voice reflected right back at me the moment after I hear something.
Hi. There we go.
All right. Great.
Is it really bad, the echo, is it?
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. But go ahead and hit mute. Okay, great. So there's some weird feedback thing happening. Okay, so I'm going to speak and then you're going to speak, Byron. So first of all, I just want to know a little bit about you. It sounds like you might have a British accent. I want to know about where in the world you're from, you can turn that light back on. That was good because then we could actually see you a little bit better. And I just want to know about like what you're currently working on with your singing. So I'm going to go ahead and just pass it off to you. I'm going to mute myself and just, as quickly as you can, tell us what you're working on and what you feel is holding you back right now.
Okay, sorry. I am British. I'm Welsh, actually. And I'm 39. I did sing a little bit in my teens, but my life just got away with me, went doing other things and whatever. But I suffer from social anxiety. That's why I'm a bit out of breath because my heart is like, but I'll be fine in a second. Because I suffer with social anxiety, that's what sort of stopped me from singing. And then about 6 months ago, I had a really bad patch. And I was trying to look for a hobby, basically. So I've just been singing personally for myself now. Initially, I bought some equipment like a microphone and a mixer board and stuff, but I've turned all that off now. I'm trying to learn to sing instead of sort of, obviously, a mic is a great tool, but I felt like I was disguising my voice with some of the effects that are on the mic and whatever. So, specifically struggling with a little bit with my anxiety. So, obviously, confidence and quality of voice is like a byproduct of that. And another thing that I'm struggling with as well is sort of knowing whether I'm doing the right thing. Like, for example, if I do an exercise, because I have actually asked for a tutor now, and I start on March the 8th, so I'll get help with that. But while I've been learning, I've been just doing the exercises and sort of like just doing it gung ho. I don't know whether I'm like articulating properly or using core support and all that sort of stuff. So, and also I'm a little bit iffy about my, like, those are the two things, just to like narrow it down. Obviously, like I said, the confidence thing, and also I'm not really sure if my upper range sounds good. Like, I feel like I've got a little bit of power there. There's this like a weak spot in my mixed voice sometimes, but I'm not sure if it's like a quality sounding falsetto, a mixed voice, or whether it just sounds good to me. And I know it sounds different to me to somebody else listening, or me listening to myself back. I've listened to myself back, and I'm sort of like, sometimes it sounds all right, and sometimes it doesn't. And that can be in a song as well. That's like, that can be in one song. Like, I could change from good to bad 10 times. So, like I said, mixed voice and confidence. I'll mute you. I'll mute you on the mic now.
Awesome. Thanks so much for sharing, Byron. I think a lot of people can probably relate with that anxiety of, performance and just being in social situations after COVID and everything anyway. I know that I certainly I suffer from a lot of anxiety anyway. I'm a pretty high energy guy, and that energy has to go somewhere. And so oftentimes that will manifest as anxiety or, hyperactivity and stuff like that. But I love that even if, as you were just talking, Byron, I noticed that your breathing and your everything was very upregulated. Everything was moving very fast. But as you continued telling me about your story, things started to slow down a little bit. You started to take a little bit more time. And I just applaud you for even being on this, being in front of, all these folks, albeit virtually, and just coming on here, because I think that that takes a lot of chutzpah. So I really appreciate you being here. So one thing that you mentioned that I really, really think that we need to focus in on, and something that maybe doesn't get talked about a ton in terms of anxiety, is breath. And so when we're talking about singing, obviously breath is the fuel for singing. And oftentimes I've been accused of not really caring enough about breath support. And I totally take that, because I tend to work a whole lot more on the way that the vocal folds are working. But of course, if the breath isn't working, if there's no fuel in the car, doesn't matter how good the engine is, it's not going to go anywhere. To continue that metaphor, usually I assume that most people's fuel is, they've at least got some fuel in the tank, and usually there's something wrong or something we can optimize with the engine. Let me know in the chat if that makes sense, by the way. I know I'm moving quickly. But Byron, what I want to try with you is I want to just get started off with that breath support. So what I want you to do is, if you can, I know you've got headphones in. I'm not sure how well this will work, but take your two hands and place them around the bottom of your stomach. Like, if you were like pregnant and you were like feeling the baby in your stomach, just place them around the bottom of your stomach like that. And what I want you to do is, I want you to inhale through the nose for a 4 count. So you're going to inhale for 4 counts, then you're going to hold for 4 counts, and then you're going to exhale for 1, 2, 3, 4 counts. So that would look like this. So I'm inhaling, I'm holding, and then I'm breathing out. So nose, mouth, inhale, exhale, inhale, hold, exhale. So 4, 4, 4. Call this the 4-count breath. Okay. Can you just go ahead and unmute yourself just so we can hear your breathing?
Yep. Right. Okay. I think what I actually done then was took the first breath too quickly. So I'll go again. I just like sucked it all up. So
Sorry, mute yourself real quick. Yeah, I think a lot of people heard that was you were just like immediately on that first count. And so the point of this 4-count breath is to do that inhale slowly so that you're spacing it out over 4 counts. So you're doing I'm doing it through my mouth so everyone can hear, but I want you to do it through your nose. So it's going to be then hold and then out. Okay, let's go ahead and try that again.
I think I done that right there. Felt better.
Much better. And I could go ahead and mute it. And I could even tell just from like your posture that things were better. So rather than doing this really quickly, you were doing that nice slow breath. Now, for singing, almost all of our breathing is going to be done through the mouth. The mouth is just the most effective and quickest way of breathing in when you're doing when you're going for a lot of high volume and fast singing like that. And so right now, this is more of a mindfulness or even a meditation breath that I just gave you that they call the 4-count breath. You can look it up online. There's tutorials for it everywhere. But we can also apply the same thing to singing too, in that we want to inhale nice and slow and low from the belly. So the proper breath should be low, slow, and silent. Okay. So if I'm going, that's not silent. And it's also too fast. So if I go low, slow, and silent, I'm able to take that nice, slow, sustaining breath. Now, interestingly, the feeling of singing is actually the part where you were holding in the middle, not the exhale, not the inhale, but actually the holding part of it. That's what singing really kind of feels like. That just kind of feels like I'm holding or sustaining that air. I'm not exhaling too much. So Byron, what I want to see you again in a context where we have a little bit more time. But I want you to just get started off with that breath first, because if that part isn't right, then it's really difficult to get the other things that you want, the mixed voice. But I just want to just like praise you and hold you up, and I want everybody in the chat to go crazy over you for even just being here and making yourself vulnerable and kind of sharing a little bit of that of yourself with us. Any last thoughts?
Just to say that I've watched loads and loads of videos. Like, this is completely unrelated to my singing, but well, sort of not. And yours are by far the best. They're really, really good. I went on for probably 4 months before I found your videos, and there was so much bad information, and I didn't know where I was. So I just want to thank you, because you're uploading, obviously, and helping people in a way that makes sense, and it really helps. So that's it, really. My final thought is just thank you, obviously, for helping.
Dude, thank you so much for saying that. I really appreciate it.
No problem. Have a nice day. I'll jump back in your life. Thank you. Bye.
All right, I will remove Byron. Bethany is on. Hey, Bethany.
Hey,
How's it going?
how are you?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Doing good.
Great. Where in the world are you, Bethany?
Douglasville, Georgia.
I'm sorry, where?
Douglasville, Georgia.
Oh, I'm not familiar with that. Is that in England?
No, that's in the USA.
Oh, sorry. What state is it in?
No, the state is Georgia.
Turnta. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm having a little bit of a hard time understanding where that is, but that's totally fine. Why don't you tell me about you and singing? Have you been doing singing for a long time?
I sing all my life.
Yeah?
I-
Awesome.
yes,
And,
sing all my life. I danced all my life.
and how
I've
old
been
are you,
taking
Bethany?
dance. I'm 27.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah,
Awesome. And what kind of
yeah.
music do you like to sing?
Oh, Christian contemporary.
Ooh, like Hillsong or Bethel Music or
Yes, Lauren Daigle. Yes.
Lauren Daigle. Yeah, she's amazing. Awesome. Well, great. I'd love to hear you sing a little something, Bethany. Do you want to just sing a little something for us so we can hear you?
Yeah.
What do you want to sing?
You say by Lauren Daigle.
Let's do it.
Okay, I got it on my phone.
That sounds great. Go ahead and pull it
Okay.
up on your phone.
Yes. Okay. I'll go for the chorus. You say I am loved, but I can't feel a thing. You say I am strong, but I think I am weak. And you say I am held when I am falling sad, and when I don't belong. Oh, you say I am young,
Great,
and
Bethany.
I believe.
Awesome. Let's just pause there for a second. That's really, really good.
Okay.
How long have you been singing that?
Um, it's been a couple of years actually.
Couple of years? Good. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna play just a little clip just so we can hear where the melody is.
Okay.
Good. Okay, so let me just make sure I'm in the right key. Yeah. So great. Bethany, can you just do me a favor? And can you just start from there that you say I am loved?
You say I am loved.
Nice. Now try this, Bethany. Try to match where my pitch is. Can you sing that? You.
You.
That's the note. Yeah, it's a little higher than you thought it was. Can you sing that up
uh,
a little higher? You.
You.
There you go. Now start there. You say I am loved.
You say I am loved.
Oh, but we have to stay up that high. We have to stay on that high note. You say I am loved.
You say I am loved.
Good. Would not get feel a thing.
When I can't feel a thing.
Good. You say I am strong.
You say I am strong.
Ooh, almost there. Just try to follow my notes. You say I am strong.
You say I am strong.
Good. When I think I'm weak.
When I think I'm weak.
Nice. Now, try from that same place, Bethany. So, you say I am strong. Not get
You say I am
feeling.
strong. When I can't feel a thing.
But hold on, Bethany. You've got to match where my pitch was. Remember, it was pretty high. So it was in that, you say I am strong. It needs to be up there.
You say I am strong.
There.
When
That's
I
it.
think I am weak.
There you
You
go.
say I am held. No.
Oh, that's okay, Bethany. I actually have to run because I have another student that's starting in just a moment. But I think you have a lovely voice, and I want you to keep working on that. But
Okay.
as you're singing along with these singers, what I think I really, really want you to worry about, not worry about, but what I want you to really focus on is what we call singing on pitch or singing in tune, which means that the note that they're singing and the note that you're singing are exactly the same note. So
Yeah.
I bet when you're singing along with Lauren Daigle, I bet you're probably really on pitch. But sometimes when you have to do it with just the piano or just a cappella, like you're just singing on your own, that is a little bit harder to do. But I really appreciate you trying. Bethany, thanks so much for being here. Oh, you're so welcome. You got it. Guys, everybody give it up for Bethany. Lauren, Omid, I really want to get with you guys. If you can hop on my live stream again next week, I would be you'll be at the very front of the line. I wasn't BSing. I actually do have to run because I have a student that's starting right now. You guys have probably even seen her before, Rhea Verghese. She's an amazing singer, and she's doing this awesome showcase later today. So I need to warm her up for that. But I really appreciate all of you guys being here. I can't tell you how much it means to me that we can do all of these lessons together. By the way, if you guys want to learn how to sing songs, not just exercises, go ahead and check out my resource, 150 vocal songs for singers. But thank you guys so much for being here. And we have a lot more great stuff to cover next week. And I'll see you guys next Saturday.